Hi, my name is Bill, and today's story is a true story about a man who didn't obey God. What happened to him? Well, we're going to find out in our story of Jonah and the big fish. Now, a long time ago, there was a man whose name was Jonah. And Jonah loved God very much and usually obeyed God. But one day, God wanted Jonah to do something that Jonah did not want to do. You see, in the land of Nineveh, there were some people that were very wicked. They were doing things that were totally against what God would want them to do. And what God wanted was for Jonah to go over and talk to those people. He loved those people very much, and he wanted to save them. And he said, Jonah, I want you to go over to Nineveh and tell these people that they have to stop being wicked. They have to love me and follow me, because if they don't, I will have no choice but to destroy their land. Well, Jonah didn't want to do that. He didn't like these people at all. And the last thing he wanted to do was go over and talk to them. So you know what Jonah did? He decided that he would hide from God. He would get in a boat that didn't go to Nineveh, but would go the opposite direction. And when he got in that boat, he lay down and took a little nap. At first, everything was okay. The boat took off into the waters, and things were going just fine. But then all of a sudden, a storm hit. It wasn't a little storm. This was a huge storm. And the boat began to go up and down the waves as the wind got higher and higher. And some of that water got into the boat, and the boat started to sink. And the people that were in the boat were panicking, and they were throwing things out of the boat, hoping that they could keep the boat afloat. But it was no use, because the storm just kept coming. And then they looked down and they saw Jonah sleeping. And they said, "Get up, pray to your God. Maybe your God can save us." And Jonah said, "You know what? There's only one thing that's going to save us. Throw me into the water. I have done something that God does not want me to do. God told me to do something, and I haven't listened to him. He's angry with me right now. Throw me into the water and you will be safe." And the people said, "We can't throw you into the water. If we throw you into the water, you'll die, you'll drown." And Jonah said, "If you don't throw me into the water, you will drown." So the men, they picked Jonah up and they threw him into the water. Now remember, God loved Jonah. God didn't want anything to happen to Jonah. And so God sent a really big fish to swallow Jonah up. And in the belly of that fish, Jonah had some time to think. Probably wasn't the greatest place to be. I can imagine it would be dark and probably a little smelly and definitely very scary. But for 3 days, Jonah had a chance to think about what he had done. You know what Jonah did? He began praying. And he said, "God, I am so sorry that I went against you. I knew exactly what you wanted me to do, but I decided to do what I wanted to do. If you let me out of this big fish, I will obey you. I'll go to Nineveh. I'll talk to them." And so after 3 long days and nights in that big old fish, God caused the fish to go to dry land, open its mouth, and Jonah escaped. And Jonah got into a boat this time that went to Nineveh. And he talked to those people. And he said, "You got to change your ways. You can't be wicked anymore. You got to trust, believe, and follow God." And you know, those people were actually happy Jonah had come. And those people did change their ways. And Nineveh was saved. And Jonah learned the hard way that it's really important to always obey God, even when obeying might not be what we want to do. You know, I can think of times when I was a little boy when my parents would say, "Bedtime," or they'd want me to clean my room, and I did not want to do that at all. But you know, obeying our parents is one way we're obeying God. When we obey our teachers, we're obeying God too. When we know what we're supposed to do, God wants us to do that. And that's not always easy, is it? Well, this is what I want to do. I want you to try this week to do what's right, to do what you know God wants you to do, even when it's hard. And I'm going to try to do that too, because I'll tell you, even when you grow up, there's still some things that you want to do that you know are not right. So even me, I have to listen to God and obey God, and sometimes that's not easy. So let's work on this one together, okay? And we'll check back with each other and see how we did. Until next time, have a great week. Bye-bye.